Welcome to Atlantic Television Network Society Watch. This is a program where we ventilate societal issues, give them aggregate attention with a view to profess solutions that will benefit humanity. On today's Society Watch, we'll be looking at numbers of issues, starting from Lagos State. Man dies while undergoing 9-day dry fasting. That's 19 days dry fasting from police. Ondo State traditionalists propose oath-taking for public officials. On technology, expert decries labeling young tech criminals. On education, UK varsities recorded 65% drop in Nigerian deposits. On economic crisis, NLC order economic shutdown if Ajoro arrested. These are the issues we'll be looking at today. You can join us on all our media platforms: Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. You can also join us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. We return after this break. Welcome back. If you're just joining me, this is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network. And joining me in this conversation is Dr. Okochi. It's good to have you in the studio this afternoon, sir.
I appreciate it. Good afternoon, Iman.
All right, the first story for today is from Lagos State. Police command in Lagos State has confirmed the death of the 85-year-old unnamed man while embarking on a spiritual fast. The command spokesperson, SP Benjamin Honduyan, confirmed this to the news agency of Nigeria on Tuesday in Lagos. Honduyan said that the incident happened in Alagbado, axis of the state, on Monday at about 600 a.m. 6 a.m. He said the deceased younger brother, whose name was not also mentioned, reported that the incident at the Alagbado Police Division at about 7 p.m. on Monday. According to him, the younger brother said the brother died while allegedly ongoing 19 days of dry fasting. On the inside, no foul play suspect. Family demands to convey the corpse for burial. All right, Dr. Okochi, in a story that we have here, a man died while undergoing 19 days dry fasting. Yes, we know that Jesus did 40 days and 40 nights. And then a lot of believers have tried this as well. And then in this man's case, because his name is withheld from Lagos State, he actually died while undergoing 19 days fasting. Could it be that God did not send him on this journey? Or could it be that he didn't check his health status before embarking on this journey? I mean, it's a spiritual thing, so the angel should guide him. So how come he died in the process of fasting to renew his spirit man? What exactly do you think happened here?
Anyway, first of all, my condolences and our condolences to the bereaved family. But then, directly to your question, Emma, the Bible does not stipulate the number of 1 day. Some can do half a day. The reason is that, according to the book of Isaiah, the reason is that God is not in Isaiah 58. God is not really interested in the fast, but in their hearts. I'll say it again. God is not really interested in the fast, but in their hearts. That's the motive behind. So whether it is a very long fasting or brief one, what is important is that there's a relationship. It's a relational thing. It's a spiritual relationship. But unfortunately, what some of my people do is that they think there is a number of days that shows that we're a macho spiritually. This level of competing with ourselves, trying to be macho in the spirit, is not what God wants. We're not supposed to be competing and to make a name how many days we fasted. By the way, Jesus fasted for 40 days, but he didn't recommend that. There's no recommendation from Jesus saying, see, I have done 40, try and do 40, or try and do 20, or try and do 7. It simply says, there's a need, you fast. So I don't know what happened, but the lesson for all of us is that fast, but do not fix. Again, fast, but do not fix the number of days. Just fast, and may the Lord hear our prayers.
Also, what message is this conveying to Christians, to believers?
Exactly. Christians should fast. Religionists, whether Muslims or Hindus or Buddhists, we do fasting in religion. But nobody should fix the number of days or the length of the fast for you. Especially when people talk of dry fasting. Dry fasting is another way of saying, I did it. But that's not the motive of fasting. The motive of fasting is not to make a name. It's not to etch your name in the record. No. Jesus says, if you do so, you just have earthly reward. But in heaven, you lose the reward because you are doing it from an ulterior motive. Fasting is a relational thing to God. God sees abstinence from food. You can abstain from other things that give you attention, that take your attention before. You can abstain from like television. You can abstain from social media for a while. A lot of people think that until you drop food, you have not fasted. That's not true. That's not true.
Before wait, first, let me come. All right. You are saying that, yes, fasting can be staying away from television and all of those. But this particular fasting is for the soul. It's for the spirit man. It is not for the body. If you are doing fasting and then you're putting television aside, you are putting traveling aside, it is you trying to curtail what you do. But if you are putting food aside and going into the secret place to communicate with your creator, that is to say that you are while you equipping your spirit man, because just like your body cannot do without food, that is how your soul cannot do, that your spirit man cannot do without, eating the scripture. So when you said it's not just about that, what exactly are you talking about? Do people just go on a fasting just to make a statement?
I get your point, Emma. I want it to be clear again. The Bible does not prescribe anything about fasting. The Bible merely and recommends, but does not prescribe. We are the ones who go to fix. It has to be dry. It has to be with water. It has to be without food. All those things are not prescribed in the scriptures. If you read the book of Daniel, Daniel is even a better person than any of us. But the Bible says that Daniel did not eat choice food. That phrase simply means he cut down on ostentatious meals and then got something little. Some maybe bread or maybe granite. So nobody should prescribe for us that it has to be completely dry. Besides, the Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 14 that the spirit of the prophet is in the prophet. What that simply means technically is this: when you are doing something spiritual, your conscience should be able to guide you to say, no, I have crossed the limit, or no, this one I cannot take it. The spirit of the prophets is within the prophet. So let it control you. Don't do anything just to make a name. What name will I make if I eventually die during fasting? In fact, it's even a negative name. If I fast for 3 days and it's enough for my body, it's fine. If I do dry fasting, it's fine. But if I do fasting but a little bit of juice or milk or oranges or banana, it's fine. Nobody should predict for us. Otherwise, we'll be doing things simply because we want to make it. And we lose the name in heaven.
Okay, and then talking about the days of fasting, are you also saying that you should just fast whenever you're tired, you give up?
It's an intentional thing. You determine for yourself. You say, I am going to do it for 2 days, I'm going to do it for 3 days. So it's not something you do and then when you get tired, you give it. No, it's not like that.
But Dr. Okochi, you are saying that we are not supposed to fix days of fasting. So if I said I'm fasting for 3 days, I have fixed this. This man said he was going to fast for 19 days, but unfortunately didn't make it. So why are you angry about the days that people fix for fasting? I thought with what you said, they should just fast. When you're tired, you give up.
No, it's not about when you are tired. When you are tired makes it look ordinary. I'm saying it's an intentional thing. You tell yourself, I'm going to do it for 7 days. I'm going to do it for 3 days. But don't go to a lengthy, extended one as if you are competing with somebody or you want to make a name. I've been saying this. Don't try to make a name. Don't try to break a record. Don't try to make it look like you are macho in the spirit. If your body takes 5 days, do it. The body has a regulatory mechanism. It will tell you that, no, I can't go further. You stop. But to be extending it, who are you competing with? And then you enter the grave of what you do. That's the point I'm trying to make.
All right, fasting. To a lot of persons out there, this is to let you know that fasting is not a competition. Before you even embark on fasting, food is good for your body. So before you embark on fasting, make sure you check your health status to be sure if you can go without food. And if you cannot go without food, we have what we call fruit fasting. You can fast using fruits. You can even fast using water. But saying you want to do fasting, a dry fasting, which you don't even know how your health status is, and then tomorrow you end on 6 feet, it is not wisdom. And it is not competition, like I said. You're not trying to make a statement. So before you embark on that journey, you want to fast. Whether it's a day, make sure you go to check your health status. It is very important. A man just died in Lagos for trying to fast for 19 days. We are not saying it's too long, yes, but unfortunately, he couldn't meet up. May his soul rest in peace. All right, the next story for today. Traditional worshippers in Ondo State have called on the government to adopt traditional oath-taking for political office holders, arguing it would help curb corruption and abuse of power. During the last day celebration in Akure, Araba, Owo, Ayobami, Odegembe suggested that traditional oath fairs for their several consequences would restore integrity in governance. Araba Folarunsho Adetunji, another leader, urged that states to declare August 20 the public holiday for Isese Day, allowing adherents to together pray and celebrate their cultural heritage. He also advocates for traditionalists to receive the same respect as other religious groups. All right, Dr. Okochi, this is another serious one. You know that the corruption in the country, not just in Nigeria though, in the world, is alarming, something that is almost getting out of hand. And of course, you saw where the president, in his while he's outside country now, in the conference, he actually talked about corruption, the things they are trying to put together to be able to curb corruption in the system for the betterment of the country, different countries, and of course the world. But the traditionalists in Ondo State have come up with the idea that the official office holders should swear an oath, should take an oath before entering into their office. So that is to say that if I steal, this will be the consequences. If I do this, this will be the consequences. Don't you think that this is quite too much for government to actually look into? Because of course they're calling on the government to look into this initiative for the betterment of the world.
Anyway, the underlying, in my mind, I need to be quick on this. In my mind, I'm speaking like a coach now. The underlying motive for that kind of surveillance is implication. Probably the regular oaths, using the Bible, using the Quran, the God of the Bible, the God of the Quran, is slow. It's slow to punishment. The traditional gods are very swift. You make a mistake, you die in the office. You make a mistake, they strangulate you. So there is an implication. It's not expressed, but these are the things. So it's like saying, let's move to a quicker means of retribution, of payback. So take a traditional one, and if you make a mistake, bam, it strikes. But to me, will that help Nigeria? That's the issue. Will that help Nigeria? What we should be doing is to ask ourselves, Iman, what have other countries what have other countries done? I'm sorry. What have other countries done to be able to stem corruption? What is Netherlands doing? What is Japan doing? What is South Korea doing? What is going on in Argentina? Those are things we should be asking, because we should talk of world standards and not going to running from one fry pan into another fire. Because this one, definitely, it may help a few times, but the bogus corruption level in Nigeria cannot be treated just this way. Let us be conscientious and intentional. And the important thing for me, because I know you're going to ask me, so what's my recommendation? The recommendation I have is that, you see, in other times, when people are found wanting, there are consequences. But in Nigeria, part of the problem is that there are no consequences. And even when there are consequences, they can easily be manipulated and waived. And people survive. And people tell you, I have done it, nothing happened. And because some other person did it and nothing happened, another person is defeated. Let us impose consequences in the law, not when people do some manipulation and they escape consequences. Because really now, Nigerians have a way of escaping consequences. That is why criminality rise.
All right, Dr. Okochi, now also looking at it in this aspect, you know that it was a man who sat down to put one or two, that if you break these rules, this will be the consequences. Is there no tendencies that if a man breaks the rule and suffer the consequences, there is every tendency that that same man who puts the one or two together can equally look for solution? And if this happened, do you think that this can actually fight corruption? Remember that the corruption we are talking about here is among the elite, and they can pay anything to make sure that get out of the unforeseen circumstances. So in a situation that are talking about overtaking, is this really the solution? Can this actually stand if the government look into it?
Like I answered, the intention, the underlying intention is for spiritual solutions. I mean, this recommendation for traditional voting, the underlying idea is that there should be a spiritual solution, which is the fail, the oath, the steal, then a force, an evil force comes and just deals with you. Probably you are paralyzed, or probably you are sick, or probably you are dead. Then it scares others. Those are the underlying. But I'm saying those are not solutions, because we need to ask other countries, is that how they are doing it? Other countries prosecute people for corrupt practices, and they face the consequences. They don't use the youth and all those traditional things. You just face the law. But here in Nigeria, the law can be manipulated. So what we need to do is to have the political will, the moral power to simply say, you have done this, this is what the law says, you face it. But because we have a way of fighting and manipulating and changing things, the corruption just continues. So let us go back to our books. The laws are there. Let's implement the rules.
All right, thank you. And then the next story for today, Hansen Johnson, CEO of Start Innovation Hub, criticized security agencies for labeling young tech talent as criminals without proper investigation. Speaking in Uyo, he condemned the harassment of these tech-savvy individuals, often referred to as tech bros and tech Cs, by security operatives, calling it a case of mistaken identity. Johnson highlighted that society and security forces often fail to recognize the legitimate work of young professionals, mistaking their success for illicit activities. He emphasized the need for security personnel to rely on intelligence rather than suspicion, and called for educating both security operatives and young people to address the issues. Johnson also mentioned SHS partnership with international organizations and the federal government to train young Nigerians to take skills, including initiatives like the innovation development and effectiveness in acquisition of skills project and the 3 million technical talent program. All right, Mr. Johnson, that's a professional tech in Uyo, has actually condemned calling the young talents criminals. Now, we know that we are in an area where things are beyond manual working. It is now more technical. Like, you can stay in Nigeria and work in diaspora. You can stay in the comfort of your home and work anywhere. We are not disputing the fact that a lot of young youths are now so eager to be rich, to be wealthy, so they dive into some illegal activities. But why would the police, the security personnel, label any young talent tech as a C, as a criminal? Is that what should happen? Don't they have a technique? Don't they have measures? Don't they have pattern of being able to detect who is a criminal? Whenever they see them with their laptops, with their gadgets or whatsoever, is there no better way of detecting them than labeling all the young tech talent individuals criminals?
Anyway, Emma and the listener, it's a 50-50. In the first place, criminality in Nigeria is very high. The reason being that because of the worsening situation in the economy, people are looking for various ways to survive, including criminal ways. Mark that. People are looking for various ways to survive, including criminal ways. Now we are analyzing, we are not, but this is just the truth. So that's on one side of the people. The other side of the people, when I say people, is that these criminals in quotes, they are also being able to discover ingenious and creative ways of doing what they are doing. What we can do is, instead of throwing both the bait and the bathwater, that's my recommendation based on what Mr. Johnson said. Instead of throwing away both the bait and the bathwater, why not we take these young persons and say, hey, we see you are creative, you are brilliant, just that you are directing it wrongly. Can we redirect you so that you can be more creative and productive for national development? So it's the same brain, but this time the direction of the brain is that's just what we should do. Yes, I can be criminal, I can be 419, I can be Yahoo. Fine, you have taught me, I agree. But you notice that there is a way I was able to manipulate the computer. I was able to manipulate the internet. The other day we were told how a young boy was able to hack into Elon Musk's his own private configuration. The young man was able to hack into it. I mean, his plane, Elon Musk's plane. That's the kind of thing. The boy was not arrested. I mean, you can negotiate and say, hey, guy, it's like you have this brilliance. No, you are using it criminally. But we can redirect you so that you can use it productively. That's what we should do. Sorry to even take more of your time. Remember, a few months ago, you remember, because you are in the media, you are in the journalism, so you understand. The other day, one student in the university was able to use his computer the indebtedness of MTN customers. That's not a good thing, because that's criminal. But at the same time, the fact that he could do such a thing, I can't do it, and you can't do it. He can do it. Pick him up, but don't arrest him. Say, hey, with this your brain, is there a way we can turn it for national development? And what you know, the young man will develop something, and Nigeria will go to the moon, Nigeria will go to Mars, Nigeria will begin to fly some jets. That's what we should do. But what we do, according to Johnson, we just label everybody, you are criminal, want them to quickly. That's all. The talent dies. That's not mine.
Dr. Okochi, if not because of the time, I wanted to ask a question, but let me just drop it, though it's a rhetorical question. If government decide to use all the people that they caught doing criminal activities, especially cyber fraud, using them as that's moving them from a negative to positive in a sense that instead of putting them behind the bars, they rather make them useful. Don't you think that a lot of youth are going to go into this thinking that, of course, even if they caught me, the least they can do is give me opportunity. If I want to work with the president, if I want to work in presidential villa, the best thing to do is to go into cyber fraud, knowing that the moment I am being caught is not going to be negative consequences. Rather, this will lead me to see the president and also to work for them. Is that really the solution? It is rhetorical. You can drop it on the box. All right, the last story for today. Nigerian Labour Congress has directed all workers to shut down the economy if its president, Comrade Joe Ajoro, is arrested by the police. Ajoro was invited by the police for questioning over allegation of terrorism financing. In response, the NLC held an emergency meeting and decided to request more time to consult with their lawyers. The NLC Deputy President Kabiru Adosani emphasized that the invitation to Ajoro was effectively an invitation to all workers. The NLC resolved that if Ajoro is detained, all workers should down tolls nationwide. Workers were urged to stay calm and await further instruction. All right, Dr. Okochi, you know that Joe Ajoro, the NLC president, has been invited for questioning over terrorism, financing, traceable felony, and all of so have you. But they are saying they had a meeting yesterday, that is NLC, a quick meeting yesterday, that if their president is detained, they will order all workers to shut down, economy should be shut down. I mean, should all of these things happen because of one person? Is the economy of Nigeria tied to Ajoro? If yes, why are we still in this state when Ajoro is still very much alive and strong? Why have you not moved from point A to B since the economic of Nigeria is tied to Ajoro? So why this order that they should shut down economic if he is being detained in the police station after the questioning, after interrogation and investigation and all of those?
Well, the reason is very simple, and it's a common sense, just common sense. We don't even need to be professors to understand. The workers are feeling that what is happening is what we call trumped up chance. You know, Ajero has been on the forefront of this fight for the welfare of workers, and it irritates any government when workers do all this agitation. The other time we had 10 days of protest, and NLC supported Ajero's scope in favor. So these are things that will anger any government, especially if you have a reactionary government that is anti-people. So the workers are thinking that these are trumped up. That is, they are connived charges. They are charges that were just created in order to embarrass NLC. The workers do not think that Ajero is actually a criminal, or that he's guilty, or he has anything to do with all that. So that is the understanding. So it's a polemic. You have governments here saying Ajero he can be accused, or he has some undercutting, underlying things. The workers are saying no, we know our leader is not like that. So what we should be thinking of is not to heat up the politics. He should, for me, I would say he should not be arrested. You can invite him for investigation. You can invite him for another. But since workers have said this, let's not give up the voice.
Oh, okay. Dr. Okochi, a fast one. Now that Ajoro has been invited for questioning over these things that are these underlying things. So if Ajoro is found guilty, you mean that he should not be detained because Nigerians, because the NLC are saying that if he's being detained, they will shut down the economy. So for the fact that he was at the forefront when he was talking about minimum wage, forefront of workers, that if he's found guilty of all of this, they shouldn't detain him because of economic of Nigeria, that will be shut down. They allege threats, I mean to say.
Emma,
I'm here.
I don't want us to go into. You said the big one. I don't want us to go into this because there are worse criminals walking free in Nigeria. You are aware. So leave this man. You can question him. Release him. By the way, when you say found guilty, it is the courts. The courts are the ones that find people guilty, not doing an interview.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Okochi, for coming on today's show. All right, I'd like to drop this question with the viewers. Like I always said, you can drop it on the comments box if you have something to say concerning this. Now, the NLC president, Joe Ajoro, has been invited by police for questioning over terrorism, over treasonable felony, and all of those. But the NLC are saying that if their president is being detained over anything in the police station, that they will order the workers to shut down economy. And I'm wondering whether the economy of Nigeria is tied to Joe Ajoro. Yes, we know that he has been doing a good work so far. But my question is, if he is found, if he has faulted all of this, yes, I know that guilty is at the court. We are not going to court yet. If he has fault, if he's found guilty, like I said, would I say they won't detain him because Nigerian will shut down economy? Is that even a solution? Should